NHL best bets for Wednesday, January 21st. Welcome to PuckTime on WagerTalk TV. Andrew, Carmine, Prez, and Buster. It's a loaded show here today. Looking forward to breaking down a handful of games. We've got sides, totals, props, same game parlays, plays of the day, and a lot of great promotional stuff as well, as a lot of us are running extremely hot. And I will just throw out there, guys, we went 2-0 yesterday. So tonight we are now going for 7 in a row on the ice in the NHL. Nice little 6-0 run for us. Yesterday, the fact that, we were able to select that first period over, both teams coming off shutouts, Winnipeg and St. Louis, we get that done. And then Dallas takes it to Boston and they get the job done, putting up, I think, 6 goals. So happy to have a 2-0 night. Shout out to all of you guys that got the $5 Tuesday play. But that's in the past. We move on to today. And Carm, you're doing well, not just in hockey, but on the pitch as well, man. Good morning to you.
Yeah, no morning. 2-2 day yesterday in Champions League. One of them got mushed right away, a red card at the beginning of the game. First 10 minutes, it pretty much kills your team. It's like NHL. Imagine playing 5-on-4 for the full 60 minutes and you're the team with 4. You're going to get beaten up. But with that said, the totals came in. Have another one going today in Champions League. I'm going out to watch some Champions League with a friend of mine who's Portuguese, and he's a Benfica fan, and they play Juventus. And you guys know I'm a Juventus fan. And then yesterday, NHL, man, boom, 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 out of the gate, Ottawa and Columbus, 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of that game. And then they went to sleep, and that game finished 4-1. It was a scoreless second period. Andrew, I knew I was dead and mushed on that one, but at least some of the show plays won. Small consolation. The New Jersey Devils get the upset win in Edmonton. The game goes under the total, and the pod play with the Tampa Bay Lightning -1.5 get there. So at least those of you that at least take some of those plays had a good day. We'll have another pod play at the end of the show. Action-packed today. Andrew Lawrence is going to come in. He's going to do Washington and Vancouver. I gave him a different game today because it's just like a merry-go-round of listening to him talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. You and I are going to break down the Leafs a little later. Pittsburgh and Calgary. Don Buster comes in from his avocado job in Mexico to talk about that one. And then we're going to finish it off with the Islanders and Kraken, or somewhere in between. We're going to fit in the Islanders and the Seattle Kraken. Same game parlay, pod. Let's get going. Prez, 3 days in a row, man. It is like it's like having an itch you can't get rid of, man. It is
a rash. I'm a rash.
A rash.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Leafs anyway, even though you're not letting me. Because I like the over in that game, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But firstly, shout out to all the people who bought my play yesterday. I begged, I pleaded, I insisted, I implored. Winnipeg Jets, baby. Boom, cashed it. Oh, yeah. Carm, I cannot believe my record in big NHL moneyline bets. I'm so excited. Anyway. What game you want me to break down? I will do it right now, right here.
Well, you're doing Washington, Vancouver. You know who I assigned to you.
Okay.
As the host of the show, I assign you a game, and I expect you to have some details on the game and some stats on the game.
So before we get into that, I really like the over in the Leaf-Detroit game. I've been playing the under a lot in the past. I have moved to the over, and it has been winning. And the bottom line here is Detroit is scoring. They put up 8 in their last 2. And the Leafs can't seem to keep the puck out of their damn net, Carm. I mean, it's ridiculous. They've allowed 6 goals 3 times in their last 4 games. I mean, why are we overthinking this? They can't seem to play defense, and even without Nylander, they're putting up goals 3, 4, 5 in their last 3. Take the over in that game. Now we move to Vancouver, and I really like the under here, guys. And I'll tell you flat out. If Washington did not come into this game losing 3 straight, I would be all over Vancouver in regulation. Now, I understand Vancouver has lost, I think, 612 games in a row, but their metrics are suggesting that they are going to win a game. They played well against the New York Islanders, and they were finally able to get some goals. They put up 3 against the Islanders, lost by 1. The Vancouver Canucks are about to win a hockey game. I would put a small wager on the Canucks tonight in regulation, which is around plus 200. As far as the actual bet that I like the most, it's the under in this game, and I'm going to break this down. We had 3 goals, as I said, by Vancouver last game. Excellent stuff. Before that, it was 0 goals, 1 goal, 1 goal, 3, 0, 1. So, I mean, this team is regularly scoring 1 or less goals, and the Washington Capitals, they've only scored 2 goals in each of their last 3 games. They have not scored more than 3 goals in 5 games. So I know they're allowing goals. They let in 5 in their last 3, but Vancouver can't score. So we have a Washington team that is struggling to keep the puck out of the net, but Vancouver is struggling to put the puck in the net. We have a Vancouver team that is struggling to keep the puck out of the net, but Washington is struggling to put it in the net. 6.5. I think this game is going to go way under that. I really like the under here, guys. I like it a lot.
Okay. I'm gonna pull one of yours. All I heard was blah 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 blah. But we're on the opposite sides here. I think Vancouver. There's just too much going wrong with this team right now to want to put any money on them, including regulation. But you are in a great role, so who knows? Maybe Vancouver picks up some of that positivity you have and turns it into a win. I just think Washington's a better team than Vancouver. Vancouver's struggling right now. They're having problems with their goaltending. They're trading away players. That they're a team that looks like they want to be a number 1 draft pick and get McKenna on that team. You still have to win the draft lottery, but with that said, I get where you're coming from.
Carm, I believe that Washington is a better team than Vancouver too. I believe that everything is going wrong in Vancouver as well. I believe they're after McKenna also, but I also know teams don't lose 20 games in a row. And I watched the New York Islanders game, and I saw them cheer when they scored, and I saw the excitement in Elias Patterson when he scored that goal. So there's passion there. There's emotion there. They are trying. They are going to win hockey games. So I agree with everything you said, but this team is still going to win some games along the way. Washington is no excellent team themselves, but when all said and done, I don't give a shit who wins that game. I just want it to go under.
Well, here's what I wonder is how crazy are the prices going to get eventually going against Vancouver?
Like you're going to get minus 400s. I mean, they play
Colorado. In the last 20 games of the season.
And I respect that because you know what? If they're going to snap out of this rut, it's probably not going to be with them scoring 6 goals. It's probably going to be with a good defensive effort. But just from an outside perspective, you know, obviously the name of the game we always say is to get a price that's no longer going to be there, whether it comes to futures or betting against certain teams. Do you guys think up or down units wise, you could make money fading this Canucks team the rest of the season, or the prices will eventually get too crazy? It'll be in LA Dodger territory where, you know, anytime you want to fade them, you know, it's going to be minus 400 or 300.
I will go as far as this, Andrew, starting from today. Okay. I will create an Excel sheet, database, whatever you call it, and mark down the price of every team that plays Vancouver in regulation, not full game line, in regulation, because this is a team that if they're going to lose, they're going to lose in 60 minutes. They're going to lose in 60 minutes. It's a better price, and let's see what happens, Prez. At the end, it's a little different because I'm throwing the loop of regulation in there, Prez. But if on average a team is minus 150, minus 160 against the Vancouver Canucks in regulation, long term, do you think that they lose? That you think you make money betting against the Canucks?
I'm not playing your regulation game. I believe that if you bet the other team on the money line over an entire game, including overtime, I believe that if you bet against the Canucks on the money line from now till the end of the year, you will lose money. And my reasoning for that, Andrew, is not about how bad they are. It's not about what the juice will be. It's about the fact that we missed 12 losses in a row or 10 losses in a row. So because we've already missed what will likely be their biggest slump of the entire year, I think it would be a losing bet.
No,
what's up,
I don't agree with
Habs
you.
Relic,
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you, Brad.
That's okay, Carm.
You go to the train station, you go to the airport, you miss your flight, you miss your train. What do? You wait for the next one. And that's what it is with the Vancouver Canucks. You're going to wait for your next
neither
one.
you or I are going to make these bets. So I'm totally good with being wrong.
I guess my whole point was, and I get what you're saying with that, Prez. My whole point was more so that if these 2 teams played again on March 31st, what's the number? And is it much worse than it is right now?
I don't know, because I think Washington could be worse. So
okay,
I don't know.
Okay, that was just my point.
Okay.
That maybe,
anyways,
like if you look at baseball, another money line sport, right? Sometimes there's obviously you can make money with underdogs, but I also think that there's a lot of trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to handicapping that sport. Like if you find all of us were cheering on the Blue Jays. As a handicapper at WagerTalk, I had a pretty decent MLB year. I wasn't happy about not releasing the Blue Jays enough, right? And you look at it, you're thinking, okay. And then you look at certain teams that weren't good last year. You could have faded them more. But anyway, I just think that some of these teams that are going to start to tank, there'll be time to fade them. But anyway, Prez.
I'm not, Andrew, that's it. Let's see what he's got to promote. I'm not going to argue with Prez anymore, man. The last time the Leafs won a cup, rainbows were black and white. So with that said, Prez, what do you got to promote?
The last time the Buffalo Sabres won a cup, it was a cup of water. Okay. The Leafs are the second most winningest franchise in NHL history.
What do you got to promote?
What does he have going tonight? Well, guys, again, I want to thank you all for buying my play yesterday. I came on you and I really laid it on thick. I came on to WagerTalk today as well. I laid it on thick. I begged you and I pleaded with you to buy my play. And I told you guys that not all plays are created equal. And here we go again. I have a 5% NHL money line bet tonight. I want to give you perspective. I have not lost one of these plays in 2 years. 2 full NHL seasons, and I am perfect on these plays. I'm on an 18-5 run on these plays. I am 41-16, over 100 units since the 2020 season. These are all facts. Like, I'm not coming on here and making this shit up. This is facts. 7-0 run, 18-5 run, 41-16 run, 22-8 in the last 5 years. I really appreciate you guys grabbing that play last night. Let's do it again. Let's roll it back. We won last night easily. We're going to win tonight. Let's do it again. Guys, thank you for having me on. All of you people who watch the show, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Those comments are hugely important. I see that you have Don Pablo coming on next with his Mexican blanket behind him. Send him my love. Take care of yourself, everybody.
All right. See you later. Best of luck with your play, Prez. Andrew? Where are you, Andrew?
Where's Andrew?
There's Andrew.
I was going to add the guy to the damn stage. Okay.
Come on.
Later,
All
boys.
Right, see you later.
Thank you, everyone.
See you, Prez. Good luck, man.
Whew, I got to catch my breath. Yo, dude, I got to catch my breath. I don't know, man. I feel like I just watched like a Sham Wow or Slap Chop infomercial at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm going to order a Sham Wow and a Slap Chop. You only pay additional shipping for the second one. But
who would you rather be, Carm? Are you Bobrovsky or are you Nedeljkovic in the goalie
I'm
fight?
Bobrovsky because I will go over to Prez's place and beat him up. So that's how it is. I'm Bobrovsky, man. I'm the silent assassin. is what I am, Andrew. Andrew, before we bring Don Buster on, I need to like really collect my thoughts. So why don't we talk about the New York Islanders and the Seattle Kraken in this one? Andrew, I'm going to be the contrarian here, and then I'm going to throw it to you, and you give me your thoughts on this one. Okay. The total right now is at 5.5 in this game, and it's juiced to the over. I want to be the contrarian and say that a lot of people love taking those 5.5s and taking overs. I want to take the under in this game. And it's mainly because I think the only way Seattle can get back into the win column or be in a game right now is to play better defensively. Their goaltending that was there in late December and early January just isn't there right now. This team looked flat and losing to 6-3 or 6-2 it was in their first game back after a 5-game road trip to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now they get the Islanders coming in, and Sorokin is playing absolutely phenomenal. But you look at these numbers, Islanders, a profitable 14-9-2 to the under on the road. The Kraken, 16-7 and 0 to the under at home. Those numbers are in my favor if I want to play contrarian and say that this stays under 5.5, as opposed to where the books are trying to get you to go with the 5.5 pushing the over at 20 or 25 cent juice or vig. So I'm the contrarian. I'm going under in this game. What are your thoughts?
I don't blame you for that under, Carmen. It kind of labels as a low event hockey game. Just looking at some of the websites that I've been using lately, I mean, everything kind of tells us going to be kind of that grinded out game where not many chances are created. But there's one thing that kind of I found here when looking at the analytics that stood out to me immediately here. You've got Seattle right now collapsing as far as their possession numbers are concerned, allowing over 30 shots a game. And these high danger chances are so strong for them right now. Meanwhile, Sorokin's playing well, as you mentioned. I feel like this is a spot for Sorokin. I mean, and the Islanders. Look, there's only so much that we can do to make a case for a team that is losing. And I've said it to you before that I want to, keep it simple, stupid more. Look at the teams that are playing well. Look at the teams that I can trust a bit better. Well, this is a team that I can trust a bit more right now in comparison to the Seattle Kraken. When it comes down to it, this Seattle Kraken team is losing to all types of teams. They're giving up goals to the Penguins, giving up goals to the Mammoth, to the Bruins, to, the Devils. They're just not looking good against anybody. And I think that when it comes to this Islanders team, despite the road trip here, I just feel like they have much more to offer, and they might overwhelm the Kraken with a little bit of their speed. And, I do think a little bit that maybe, the under correlates with a Kraken victory, but I also believe that with Sorokin, the way he's playing right now, the Islanders have no problem playing in a low scoring game either. So when it comes down to it, this is one of the, yesterday I backed Dallas and they had lost a couple in a row. They hadn't looked great over the last couple games, but they're a different style of team that I'm willing to back even when they're struggling. This is a Seattle team that I don't necessarily want to try and pick out the game when they're going to get back on track. And I'm sure you get me with that, Carm. Like, this is an opportunity here for us to take a look at a team that is bleeding shots, bleeding chances against. They're giving up way too much in their own zone. And, I've been talking a lot on different shows about how this is the time of year across every single sports league where depth matters the most. And when I look at this Seattle Kraken roster, there's only a handful of players that really contribute to the scoreboard. And, we're talking like mid to late January right now. It's not like it's the start of the year. Everyone's freshly motivated and, you're getting that first road trip out of the way or all this different stuff. Like, you're in the time of year right now where you got to pick up wins, but it's not fun. Depending on where you live, it gets darker. It's cold. It's not really a fun time. And I just feel like right now for this Seattle team, they're struggling as a team, and I want to go against them. I have them circled as a fade team, and I think we're getting a reasonable price here. What's your thoughts on the price here in this one? Is it a bit weird to you? Like, to me, this is a spot where I just immediately wanted to go against this Kraken team.
It's not. You know what I mean? Like I told you guys yesterday in the Edmonton and New Jersey game that my initial thought was I like the under, and then I thought it was a fishy line. The Oilers off back-to-back shutout wins in which they outscored the opposition 11-0, and you got the Devils coming in who haven't had the greatest of seasons, And I should know that because I've bet on them a couple of times when they've had some real stinkers, and the price just did not make sense for me. I'm like, sometimes when the price doesn't make sense, I just stay off the game. It's your gut instinct telling you that there's something wrong with this number, and maybe you should be betting the other side. And the more I looked into it, I thought they have a shot. They have a shot of winning this game. They're a live dog, and they did. But you look at this one, and it's priced probably where it should be. You look at the Islanders, flat game with big save Dave in there playing against his old team, the Calgary Flames. But the game before that, Sorokin was phenomenal in Edmonton, shutting out the Oilers 1-0 in that game, and McDavid's 20-game point streak snapped as well too. Go to Vancouver, he has another solid game, and now they're in Seattle, and it's not a back-to-back, and they don't play for I think another 2 or 3 days. This team, and they're traveling back to the East Coast. I think their next game is against the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. So it's a perfect spot to end the trip with Sorokin, and then he gets a couple of days off, and you decide whether which game to start him when you played 2 games in 3 nights. So it's a good spot there. But Andrew, and this is a question for you guys in the live chat as well too, because I'm curious about this. What your thoughts are on this is, who do you blame on the Seattle Kraken when you look at in late December, early January, as I mentioned before, they were playing well. They were winning games. Grubauer had 4 straight games where he allowed only 1 goal, and picked up the win. And then he seems to his goals against average, his goals against average has gone up, his save percentage has gone down. He hasn't looked good. They mix and match their goal, or they split starts with their goalies, and Joey Daccord hasn't been Joey Daccord either, like who he was solid earlier in the year. So do you blame the goaltending or do you blame the defense? It's an age-old question that we always apply to the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. Do you blame the goaltending or do you blame the way the defense is playing? Who do you guys blame in the case of the Seattle Kraken and this recent streak of bad games?
Well, I think it comes down to everybody, not just the defense or the goalies. The forwards have to do a better job back checking, maybe the systems that they do. But at the end of the day, one stat you've heard me talk about a lot recently on PuckTime is possession. And they don't hold on to the ball or the puck. And in different sports, people talk about possession and how it might not matter. Carm, I'm sure you've seen a million soccer games that one team loses, but they had 70% possession. Doesn't always mean you're going to win, but you can't create chances if you don't have possession. And this team, I think, just lacks the overall puck moving ability on the blue line. But the sad part is, I get what you're saying about Grubauer. The sad part is, though, even in the patches that he has had good games, they haven't shown up offensively for him. It's like if he gives up 2 goals, they're going to only score 1. If he gives up 4, so it's tough. It's tough. But I think the lack of depth is the really big difference when it comes to this team. They just don't have enough contributors. I'm looking at the last couple of games here for this team. The last win they had was against the Rangers, 4-2. The last win before that was against the Bruins, 7-4. Then it was 4-3 against the Canucks, 4-1. I mean, this team pretty much, for the most part, they have to score 3, 4, 5 goals. I mean, on average, they're not able to win 3-2 games, 2-1 games. They seemingly have to score 4 or 5 in order to win, and it's just not been able to happen.
And Andrew, this is I put a comment on the board because it is one in which I do actually kind of believe in is the fact that they had that great run, Seattle, and they knock off Colorado in the first round of the playoffs, and then after that, they haven't really done anything. So it is one of those ones where you got to build a team. Like the Vegas Golden Knights built a team and then just kept adding pieces to it, and that's what comes with having good management as well too. I think good management is important. Okay, we got to bring in Don Buster, but I want to answer a question because someone asked me. It's like a soccer question on a hockey show, but PSG, the same thing. Some goals disallowed for PSG. They played absolutely phenomenal. Andrew, you talked about 70% possession. I think they were right there and then allowed a late goal in the game and lose that game. A game that they likely should have won turned into a loss. And those are the ones that are frustrating to watch. You're like, this team is all over them. So what happened is in the final third, you don't score. It's kind of like an NFL team that is in the red zone 5 times and comes away with 1 field goal and 4 turnovers. It's probably a frustrating thing to watch. With that said, let's bring in Sir Avocado himself, Don Julio, with the, oh God, that background, Andrew, that background is killing me. Buster.
Hey, it's not as bad as it once was. It's not as bad as it once was. This one, although I did like your actual background of your house. It looked like a real nice background, Buster. But it's good to see you, man. How are you? How about those Habs?
Yeah, that was good. I just had to change. Yeah, you gotta love that. Yeah, I had to change that up, Andrew, because I had promised. It's a little comments. I promised the return of the Mexican blanket, so I want to make sure that happened. But I tell you, wow, that was
you're a little choppy there.
That was something else, but yeah, I just want to see them. Am I a little choppy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're a little choppy.
My Wi-Fi is very good, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's when we have 3 guys on there or something. I'm not sure.
No,
because
that's
like I say, my Wi-Fi here in Mexico is the best.
Oh, great! Of the 3 guys, Andrew chooses to leave me up on the screen. I get that, Buster. We'll have more to talk about, but you're going to break down Pittsburgh and Calgary. Minus 120 on the Pens, pretty much even money. Minus 101 on Calgary. Total sits here at 6. How are you breaking this one down?
Okay, Carmine. Hopefully, I won't be too choppy here. Yeah, Pittsburgh plays their second road game of this 4-game road trip, and they've played, I guess, okay, but they're still 2-4 in their last 6. However, they do tend to play a lot of close games, and I actually believe this is going to be a close game as well. Calgary have been playing a little bit better. They've gone 3-3 in their last 6, and they lost that last game to New Jersey in overtime. But I'd like them to bounce back here at home. Now, this Pittsburgh club is actually a 120 favorite, and truthfully, I thought Calgary should be favored here. So, I always like when I believe there's a wrong team favorite here, and I think that's what we have here. We have talked a bunch of times this year about how terrible Calgary is on the road, and they are. They haven't been good on the road, but they do play much better at home. Calgary are only 6 points out of a playoff spot. And so, they're going to be a little bit desperate for a win. Now, Pittsburgh, they're in the same spot. They're desperate for a win as well. But they actually sit in 8th spot, which I was shocked. They're in a playoff spot right now. But they're only 6 points ahead of the team that's in 15th in the East. So we all talk about how this Eastern Conference is going to be just great right down to the very end, and looking forward to that. I'm not sure if Pittsburgh is going to be one of those teams at the very end there. Tonight's game should be close. It's a tough card tonight. There's only 5 games, but it should be a close one. But what I do like, there's a lot of people that like to bet those draws. If this is a draw, I do like our chances with Calgary here, as Pittsburgh has gone 3-11 in either overtime or shootouts this season. So, but also one thing that has kept Pittsburgh alive, and the reason why they are in 8th, their special teams have been very good. They have the 3rd best power play. I think they have something like the 6th or 7th best penalty kill. But tonight they play a Calgary club that has a top 5 penalty kill, and I think that really helps here. Bottom line, we get Calgary at home off of a loss. And also, one other thing I'd like to add. Pittsburgh is playing, who do they play tomorrow night? That would be Edmonton. So I have to believe that game might be a little bit more important than this one for them. With a look ahead to play McDavid, that'll be a big game. Everybody wants to see Crosby McDavid for sure. So there might be a little bit of look ahead there. And Calgary did beat Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, 2-1. We'll look for them to win their 2nd game in a row here. Now, of course, I will break down the total and again, hopefully I'm not coming out too choppy at all, as you were saying before. It sits last night. It was 6.5 under 30 at DK and FD and FanDuel. And I was thinking, geez, I should just jump on that. But I know those totals. It's kind of like the Islanders Vancouver the other night. It was there at 6.5 under, but they're there for like maybe a half hour. So it doesn't really help our clients. You know, I like to look at a line when it comes out that I think will at least stay for a while, at least stay to the afternoon anyways. But anyways, that was dropped down, and now it sits at 6 under 20, or you can see a bunch of 5.5s over 30. So I'll break down a little bit of the total. Pittsburgh are 5-5 their last 10, but last 3 games have gone over, so there's something there. Calgary are also 5-5 in their last 10. I do kind of lean a little bit. If you get a 6, I do lean a little under 6. As I said, they did play 2-1 earlier this season, like 2 weeks ago. And between the clubs, they're 6-4 to the under in their last 10. The total won't make my card, but we already have a small play on the Calgary Flames at a very decent price for a home team.
All right, Don Buster, nice breakdown, my friend. I don't blame you. I think that Calgary, unlike Vancouver, I think Calgary isn't going to make the playoffs either. But I think there are players on Calgary who want out at some point and that aren't going to resign. So they're probably playing for trades right now. These are guys who are going to put in some effort, and that's what you want. Guys who are putting in effort. So other teams are looking at him saying, hey, this is a guy we want to pick up for our playoff push, especially teams in the East where it's pretty much a coin flip on those top 8 spots every night. It's like shuffling a deck of cards to see who's in those bottom 4 spots of the NHL playoffs. Andrew, anything to add?
Well, yeah, I was going to pretty much say the similar thing to what you said there, Carm, was, Buster, these are 2 teams that I think people are a little bit curious about which way they're going to go towards the deadline. I was listening to Jeff Merrick from Daily Faceoff now, formerly with Sportsnet. He was talking yesterday that people might be surprised that the Penguins could be buyers at the trade deadline, which is crazy because people thought, there's definitely a good chance they're going to be sellers. They got to build around. But let's be real here. Crosby said he doesn't want to leave. We all know he has 3 cups there. So I think that Dubas is going to do what he can to build something without, getting rid of too much at the same time. But I was going to just ask you not as much about your play today, but just overall with these 2 teams in the future, where you kind of see them going. And Carm kind of touched on it. Some of these guys maybe are playing for jobs right now.
Well, yeah, you guys talked about it perfectly, exactly the way I think too. Because of Crosby, and who knows? Do you think this might be his last year? You never know, right? There's always that talk about him maybe going to Toronto or something like that, something crazy like that. But who knows if that, or be going even to our Habs, which would be kind of nice for one last year. But in saying that, yeah, I could see that exactly happen with Pittsburgh. Because like I say, now, as we all know, once it settles in, and special teams are huge. And Pittsburgh has done a great job special teams-wise. Now, the rest of the, I don't know, they don't have the depth. So like you say, Andrew, maybe they do get some depth. Again, it's hard to find those players because everybody else is going to be looking for those same players. Bottom line, right? As far as Calgary, it'll depend on how they do until the Olympic break. If they keep shitting the bread, especially at home, then I see them being big-time sellers and guys will be wanting to be on the move for sure.
Buster, always a pleasure to have you on, man. What do you got to promote over at WagerTalk?
Yeah, okay, Carm. We have that great 7-day all access for $69. That includes all 5% plays. And we do have about 3 games that we're looking at this week. I got looking Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I've had them circled. Doesn't mean that they're going to be 5% plays by any means, but I have to believe maybe one might make it. Set my parameters. I'm already 3 5% NHL winners this month already. Also on an 8-0 NHL 5% run. Want to go back 16-2-2 last 20. So we pick these games. We just don't pick them. We have to meet all parameters. And actually, a game last night almost made it there, and I'm glad it. But there's a couple of things that went against it, so we don't play it like that. That's just the way it goes. So you want to go over and grab that at WagerTalk.com. It's a great deal, and it's there for all cappers, not just myself, of course. It's their 7-day all access pass for $69. And like I say, with college basketball and NFL coming up this weekend, it'd be a good time to grab that package. And by the way, I'd just like to wish the Prez best of luck at that 5% play. It sounds like he's having a great run, and I know when he gets hot, he's really hot. So you might want to go out there and grab that 5% of Prez's today. And like always, I'm sorry for the choppiness today, but like I say, I've been running this Wi-Fi now for a long time, and we've had maybe 2-3 good years of it. So anyways, hopefully everybody got what I was saying, and it wasn't too bad. And,
we got you.
Thanks again for having us, guys.
We got you.
Hey, always
Buster,
good to see you, Buster.
You are on fuego, as they say down where you are, man. Keep it going. Keep it pumping out. We're going to have you on a couple times next week for these shows. So I appreciate you coming on, man, taking your time.
Sounds good.
Especially because you got that great weather out there, man. I would be out on the beach right now if I were you. So with that said, get out of here.
See you, Buster.
Take care, guys.
Andrew, so he must have heard Don Buster wishing him luck, because look who came back. The Prez is back. And I think with his play today, you get a sham wow. So with that said, Andrew, let's go back to the full screen there. I got to poke a little fun at my friend, the Prez. But with have you not seen those Vince Profit? I think the guy's name was Sham Wow or whatever, and then he did the slap.
The best
chop
was the slap chop. Yeah, the slap chop. You're gonna love it.
That I actually when Prez got his when he bought his house, he wanted a housewarming gift, and I got him a slap chop. I did. I got him a slap chop, and I got Viv a huge bottle of Grey Goose, because I figure she's going to need it in order to
live with him
to get through thing. But with that said, Andrew, let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. The Leafs -118, Detroit -102. Total sits here at 6. How you playing this one?
Well, Carmine, I just got to say this, and there's the eye test, and then there's the analytics. And you and I both watch a ton of hockey every night. Like it's probably not healthy how much I'm watching. That's why I had to go on Amazon last week and have a brand new shipment of these blue light glasses, because my eyes are actually fine, but I'm going to fry my eyes if I keep watching so much TV at night. But the eye test will tell you, hey, look, this Red Wings team, they can't stop winning. They just keep on looking so good. And then all the analytics right now will tell you that Detroit's regression has to come. And I know the chat box, the comment section, a lot of people have told me, hey, you're just a hater of Detroit. You don't like Detroit. It's nothing against them. It's just a lot of the stuff that I've seen right now is suggesting some, regression from them right now. Detroit's offense is kind of at this point slowed down. They're not creating that many chances. And what they do have right now is a strong shooting percentage. And so when I look at this game, and I'm not trying to disagree with Prez, but I actually like the under in this one. If you can get a 6.5 at a decent price, I like the under. And don't get me wrong, Austin Matthews, he's finding his touch. But we've got 2 goaltenders that are more than capable, but 2 teams that are relying on high shooting percentage in order to create their chances. So I do lean towards the over, because as much as the offense has been there for the Leafs in some of their recent games, I look at that game they had against Minnesota. And wouldn't you agree with me that after that game against Minnesota, where it looked like they were going for a skate on the Rideau Canal, that they're going to want to bounce back defensively? I feel like with this Leafs team, when they have a bad outing, when they get sort of embarrassed at home, the way they want to respond is on the defensive side of things. So it's one of those things for me where there could be an opportunity to take player shots on goal over, goalie saves over. I know there aren't a ton of shots from everybody, but the star players for both these teams are shooting. But I am waiting, Carm, for the time to fade this Red Wings team. And a lot of it is because the analytics tell me that their numbers don't really equate to how they're playing, and they're starting to fall off a cliff. Now, the eye test will tell you this Detroit team can't stop playing well. So what side are you on? Are you on the eye test or are you on the analytics?
I am on the goaltending matchup for tonight.
Okay.
And listen, because the goaltenders are confirmed for this one. It's Joseph Woll for the Leafs, and he is a good goalie. Stolarz is not back with the team, but he's gone down to I think the Toronto Marlies for a couple of conditioning starts to get him to see if he's back and playing. But dude, John Gibson's having a good year for the Detroit Red Wings, and look at his last 8 games. I think you can look at his last 8 games if I'm correct. He's won his last 6. He's 6-0 his last 6 starts. He's 7-1 his last 8 starts. And the one game in which he lost was a 4-1 loss to Pittsburgh, where he allowed two goals on 29 shots, a .931 save percentage. They got a couple empty net goals in that game, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Gibson's playing well. When you have a goalie who's playing extremely well in front of your team, the team plays that much better because they have confidence in the goalie. The defense can pinch a little more, take a shot, because you got someone between the pipes who's playing well. Man, I'm hoping Toronto steams a little bit here where I can get some plus money on the Red Wings right now. Like I'm seeing like a couple books have Toronto -120. This line's all over the place. Circa has them at like 113, a lower number, but I like the Red Wings in this spot mainly because of the goaltending. So if it comes down to that, listen, Detroit's got guys who can score. I think the last time the Red Wings were in town, I went to watch that game with Prez and Johnny Detroit and his lovely wife, and we went to that game as well too. And the Leafs eked out a third period win in that one. I think it was like 3-2 or whatever, what have you, an empty net, or maybe 3-1. But with that said, the Wings are playing good hockey, Andrew. And for a guy like you, who's a Montreal Canadiens fan, okay, who you're seeing your team and they're showing up each and every night, and that is why they're in the top half of the standings. That's what the Detroit Red Wings are doing. So the Leafs aren't there yet. They're on home ice, advantage Toronto. They probably have the best player on the ice, which is Austin Matthews. Again, edge Toronto. But it is not one player who wins you a game. It is a core of players. And if Detroit rolls out 3 lines and can stop that number 1 line of Toronto, because Matthews is starting to score some goals and get points, if they can slow them down, the Red Wings can win this game.
And I can't disagree with that, because you're right. And I have to admit something, because we have to admit when we're wrong, and we're going to pat ourselves in the back sometimes too with being right. John Gibson has been good. You talk about the goalie matchup. I thought it was a little bit too late. Like I felt like Anaheim should have made that trade a year or 2 ago. I felt like a team should have gone after, and you were even talking about it as well for a while, the fact that they needed to go and get a goalie, this Detroit team, but somebody had to go get Gibson because he was kind of fizzling out of Anaheim. And this just turned out to be a really good pickup by them. So great call by you. Great call by Habs Relic in the live chat. And I think that Gibson's been the big difference, because in games that they haven't gotten their scoring, Gibson has showed up for them. So it's going to be a really good one. But to that point, that's kind of why I like the under, right? Like I think that the Leafs bounce back here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. 16-2, Andrew. I talk about the Buffalo Sabres, and they won yesterday in Nashville. And I think the Sabres are something like 15-3-1 or 16-3-1 now. The last 20 games, 16-2. Those are the last 18 starts by John Gibson in goal. He is 16-2. He loses a game, essentially 2-1 to Pittsburgh, because a couple empty netters in that game. And he loses a game 5-2, in which I think he only allowed 3 goals in that game. And that was to the Carolina Hurricanes, who again got a bunch of some empty netters. When a goalie wins 16 of 18 games, you have to mention them, because we talk about guys like Sorokin, we talk about guys like Shesterkin, we talk about Bobrovsky, we talk about Vasilevsky, and all the, Thompson. We talk about all these goalies who are having fantastic seasons or have had fantastic seasons this year, last year. Hellebuck, 16-2 his last 18 starts for John Gibson in goal. So it's so tough to go against that. I get it. He can't score goals for you, but he can stop them, and he's been able to do it. Hopefully, I didn't put the kibosh on him and mush him
clutch.
tonight.
He has been clutch, guys. If you're enjoying the videos, as always, we are here live 11 a.m. Eastern on X, on YouTube, on multiple streaming platforms. Of course, you can follow Carmine on X at Carmine Bianco WT, myself at McInnis Picks. We're talking hockey every single day, and you guys can make sure you check us out at WagerTalk.com. And to all of you guys that are so loyal that tune in every single day, we appreciate you. We love following the chat. We love your opinions. We always want everyone's voices to be heard. So, guys, if you can do us the favor, we did not reach the goal yesterday. We did not reach the goal. Let's try and get to 270 likes. We can get to it, guys. 270 likes. If you guys are making money, if you guys have cashed on some play of the days, some props, some sides, some totals, some best bets, 275 likes. Hopefully you guys can get us there with that for today.
Andrew, so before we get to your same game parlay, and then I'm going to do the pod afterwards. Professor Bruska, if I pronounced that right. Listen, I'm bummed about that play last night on the Ottawa Columbus over. Again, 3 goals in the first 10 minutes, and then they just kind of died a slow death after that one. But I'm only going to have one play up in the NHL, and it is the pod play today. So it is a client play. It's already loaded. It is going to be the pod play today as well too. So I won't have an NHL package up for sale because I'm not going to sell a play that I'm giving as the pod play. So that gives you even more incentive because Andrew is on an insane roll, guys. A 7-0 run or 6-0 run, 7-0 run. Pick up his play tonight. I have none. You're going to get mine for free in a few minutes. Andrew, give us the same game parlay.
I appreciate it, Carm. Yeah, going for 7-0 tonight. Going for 7-0 tonight. Just one play on the board for me tonight. So hopefully we can make it a good one. And I already kind of peeked ahead at tomorrow's slate, actually. It's a pretty good one tomorrow as well. So I appreciate it. And guys, you guys can get that one play at WagerTalk, or you can hop on for 1 month of all access NHL plays and get a great deal. And hopefully we can keep making some money. All right, Carm, here are a couple updates on guys that are doing well right now in the NHL. DeBrincat has a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. You can get him at plus 160. He's playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews has a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. You can get him at plus 110. Brock Nelson from the Colorado Avalanche has a goal in 7 of his last 10 games. You can get that at plus 165. Now going towards head-to-head stuff here, James Van Riemsdyk, in 3 of his last 4 head-to-head versus Toronto, he's got a goal plus 340 for James Van Riemsdyk. Not too bad. How about Nazem Kadri? Nazem Kadri has a goal in 2 of his last 3 games against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Plus 225 is the deal on that one. A pretty good price for Nazem Kadri. And here's a pretty good one as well. JJ Peterka has a point in 3 straight games against the Philadelphia Flyers. Shop around. Try and get the best price you can, but you should be able to get minus 120, 125 in a pretty good matchup where they are decent favorites. So that's a couple guys that are playing pretty well right now. Some streaks you guys can follow and some guys maybe you can keep an eye on for goal scoring props or for some DFS stuff here. All right, we got the graphic for you guys. A little bit small here, but it'll do the job. Carm, we've got 2 sets of same-game parlays once again. We're going to run it back with the Makar assist and Natchez assist because that did cash for us the last time we gave this out. Makar assist, Natchez assist, that equals plus 116. DeBrincat, 3+ shots on goal. Matthews, 4+ shots on goal. That takes us to plus 172. The volume in which both these guys are shooting right now is extremely high. Matthews getting his swagger back a little bit here. DeBrincat playing very well. And as mentioned, DeBrincat plays well overall against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You put all of these together, you get to plus 487. So not a bad little same gamer there. Not a bad 2 sets of prop picks, and kind of a nice little graphic there, Carm. Not a bad one. So hopefully we can cash some tickets. And again, guys, 4% best bet going for 7 straight NHL winners tonight at WagerTalk.com. And of course, we always talk about it though, Carm. If you want to jump on, guys, for longer, you can get a 7-day, 30-day, or jump on for the full season. It's not been the start of the season that I'd like, but it's a long, long season, and we're starting to see things well right now.
Yeah, that looked like the old school hockey cards when those guys are doing they're opening the packs of cards and stuff. Like need like a little piece of gum sticking to that attachment. I like it, man. I like it. It's actually easy to read. It's a good graphic. So as you can tell, Andrew and I create our own little graphics, as you can tell by this next one that is coming up, which is the pod play, Andrew. All right. So I told you this is a client play for me. It is up there. It is the New York Islanders minus 115. We get a bankroll pod play winner yesterday with Tampa Bay minus 1.5. We're going to go for another one here. This is straight money line play minus 115, and this is one in which, as you know, as I mentioned to you guys, this is a goaltending one, and the Islanders are just playing well right now, and they're sitting 5th or 6th in a playoff spot right now. Eli Sorokin played absolutely phenomenal in that game in Edmonton. Followed it up with another win in Vancouver. And they don't play again until Saturday when they're home against the Buffalo Sabres. So I expect him to be in goal tonight. The wheels have fallen off the Seattle Kraken at the moment right now, whether it's Joey Decord, whether it's Grubauer. Grubauer, 4 straight games at the end of December, early January, where he allowed a single goal. Since then, a higher goals against average, a much lower save percentage. And you look at Joey Decord, who's split starts with him. He's allowed 3+ goals in his last 5 starts. This is one in which the goalies and the defense aren't playing well for the Seattle Kraken. And if the Islanders can get in there and score 3, maybe 4, that's going to be enough to get this win. So the New York Islanders are your pod play today.
All right, the New York Islanders. And yes, Hal, the Isles are on a long extended road trip. That probably is the reason why the price is what it is. But both myself and Carm say, you know what? Forget about that road trip. We'll take this Islanders team. And sometimes, Carm, it doesn't matter, but the road trip is just a better matchup. And that's how I feel about it as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, they beat Vancouver on what I think that was on Sunday night, or was it Monday? I can't remember when they beat them. But the trip from Vancouver to Seattle is an easy one. So it's not one in which I'm worried about travel. It's not a back-to-back either for them. And from a perspective of taking a game off, I don't see them taking a game off unless Seattle's just a better team tonight and beats them on the ice over 60 minutes, because the Isles, much like every team in the Eastern Conference, cannot take a night off. They those playoff spots, Andrew, there is no way of figuring out who's going to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference until probably the last 2-3 weeks of the season. And even then, there's going to be a race for spot number 7, spot number 8. So give kudos to a team like the Isles, who have played like sort of that next man up mentality. Missing guys like, they're missing like Horvath, and missing guys like Palmieri. You know what I mean? Even guys who are, good face-off guys in the defensive zone. Those are pieces of the puzzle that when they're fully healthy, this team could make a run. So all you need is a good goalie as well too, and they have it in Eli Sorokin. So I tooted this guy's horn, or tooted my horn to Eli Sorokin all of last season, saying he's a good goalie. He has shown up this season for them. I like the way they're playing right now. So we'll see.
You got to think, Carm, if Russia was in the Olympics, they would have the opportunity to have Bobrovsky, Sorokin, and Vasilevsky as their 3 goalies. One of those goalies wouldn't even be able to be on the bench for a game. That's how good their goaltending would be. So as much as they would lack center depth, they've got some great goalies. And I think Sorokin, it's nice for Sorokin because there were many years where that he was the goalie for a team that didn't have much offensive talent, and now they're starting to score some goals. And I think then you start to realize how good he is, because he was kind of getting the Carey Price treatment. Like, unless the team only gave up, he only gave up 1 or 2 goals, they weren't able to win games, so they didn't have the offense. But now the offense has gotten a lot better for this Islanders team.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's been a good season for them. A friend of mine is a season ticket holder, lives in New York, and has been going to Islander games, has some really nice seats. I'll go and visit him one day. Maybe next week. The Sabres are in New York on Saturday.
Take a flight.
No, I got to watch football on Saturday, or get ready to watch football on Saturday. Or for Sunday.
Yeah, I forgot about Shesterkin.
Saturday's a rest day.
Forgot about Shesterkin.
No.
4 goalies.
Listen, I absolutely hate politics, and we never bring them into the show and stuff. From a purely sporting opinion, I want to see the best teams with the best players facing off against each other. And that's it.
Yeah.
Let's forget about all the other stuff. It does not belong on this show. I want to see the best players from the best teams playing on the same ice surface in a competition. And that's just
the rumor has it they're going to start with the U18 level. So it's going to start low and they're going to build it back up, I think. The under 18s, under 21s, and then it will start to build back up. So hopefully that's the case moving forward, Carm.
Okay. So anyways, I'm out of here, Andrew. Of course, I'm not going to just leave you by yourself, but I'm going to watch the game today. I'll be cheering for Juventus. They're a small money favorite. I'm not betting the game because this team just seems like it's like Father's Day with them. They love ties. They just have so many ties, this team. And they play Benfica, my buddy's favorite team. So we're getting together to watch that game. But I have a couple of Champions League plays up, including a total. The totals were absolute money yesterday. Hopefully same thing today. NHL, you guys got the only play. It is the pod play today, so no other NHL package up. I will work on tomorrow's plays a little later today. Andrew, they got to buy your play today if they can. Let us know what's going on at WagerTalk and close out the show.
Yeah, can't wait for a big night here tonight, guys. Yeah, yesterday we cashed the 4% $5 play. First period over, Jets and Blues. We also cashed Dallas on the money line. So 6-0 run. Number 7 goes tonight. One and done. One play only for tonight in the NHL. Don't miss it. WagerTalk.com. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on Puck Time.